Hello, Virgo love. It's Kat here from Selfunity. Welcome in to your new moon solar eclipse reading. I am so grateful and honored to be here with you today, love. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me. Now, before we get started with today's reading, I do want to share with you all that today's reading is part 2 of a 3-part series that I am creating for each of the astrology signs for eclipse season. So in part 1, we shared what it is that you were releasing with the full moon lunar eclipse that took place about 2 weeks ago on Sunday, September 7th. And now in part 2, we are sharing messages of guidance that are in connection to the new moon solar eclipse that's happening in the sign of Virgo on Sunday, September 21st. And this new moon solar eclipse and the messages that we're going to receive today for your reading are connected to what it is that you're initiating, what it is that you're inviting into your life, what new intentions you're setting for yourself. And then in part 3, we will receive messages of guidance that are connected to everything that you will be integrating from the lessons and experiences that you work through and learned during this eclipse season. Okay, so make sure that you're subscribed to my channel Selfunity so that you can catch all parts of this 3-part series for your signs reading. And if you feel called to, you can also tune in to your sun, moon, and rising signs if you'd like to. If not, just your sun sign is perfectly okay. If you're not quite sure what your moon and rising signs mean, that is okay too. Just go with what you know. Just go with what your intuition's guiding you to listen to. Okay, loves? All right, but with that being said, before I start pulling cards, I do want to also share with you all a little bit of background about this new moon solar eclipse. So this new moon is actually happening in your sign Virgo, and this is the second new moon that we are experiencing in the sign of Virgo, like back-to-back new moons. So the last new moon that we had was also in your sign of Virgo, and this is taking place during Virgo season. So what that means is what was initiated in your life with the previous new moon is now coming full circle for you with this new moon. Okay, and so there's something that most likely was initiated into your life with the previous new moon in the sign of Virgo that was very much connected to what it is that you're releasing and transforming and bringing this transmutation energy to with that full moon that happened in, what sign did it happen in? Let's see. In the sign of Pisces. And so whatever it is that you released and let go of with that full moon energy was really initiated with the last new moon that we had in the sign of Virgo. And now this new moon solar eclipse happening in the sign of Virgo again on Sunday, September 21st is going to invite in this fresh new energy, this fresh new perspective and outlook for you around what is going to be taking the place of what was really released and removed from your life with those previous 2 moons. Okay, but there's just a deeper significance in there for you, Virgo, because these are all happening in your sign. And so I wanted to share that background with you. But let's go ahead and get started with your reading today, love. So we are going to start by pulling a card from this deck here. This is the Spellcasting Oracle deck, I believe. And we are going to pull a card to see what theme it is that you are initiating into your life, what theme this new moon is bringing into your life. Okay, so let's see. And while I'm shuffling, if you have any questions or any intentions that you'd like to set for this reading, go ahead and just take a moment now to ask those questions to yourself. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple tarot. I'm feeling called to pull your tarot first, and then we'll unveil your theme cards. So we are also going to pull some tarot cards from the Cozy Witch Tarot deck, which I did use in part 1 reading as well, so you may be familiar with this. And I'll link down in the description box part 1 if you missed out on that reading and you want to check it out as well. Alright, so there's one more. Let's get one more card. Here we go. Okay, let's see. So So first we are going to unveil your theme. What theme is being initiated? Wow, we have healing. Healing. Yes, you're bringing healing towards something in your life. I feel like to yourself overall and really to your perspectives, Virgo. I keep getting this message around perspective coming in, where your outlook on your life overall, and maybe like your outlook on experiences and connections and lessons that you had to work through in the past to get to the point that you're at now. You're now looking at those situations through a new lens. You're not looking at it in the ways that you once were. And I see that you're finding like a lot more beauty in how you view these situations, these experiences, and these connections. And when I say beauty, I'm seeing like there's just like a deep reverence for those experiences. Even if they cause you a lot of pain, you're finally at a point where you're able to really overcome and release the maybe like heartfelt emotions that are connected to those experiences, to those past connections, or to the lessons that you had to walk through and work through. And so now that you're able to look at those past connections with a renewed sense of sight and perspective and relief, you're able to walk upon this new path that's now opening up to you with a lot more like trust in yourself and trust in the path that's opening up to you as well. So I'm seeing like before you may have been a little bit more closed off and not wanting to open up to these possible connections and experiences because of the attachments that you had to release to get to this point of understanding why those things were being released from your life, or just why you had to go through those experiences and situations overall. I'm also getting with the healing card, she is holding a candle here. Okay, and so some of you may also just be getting familiar with candle magic, maybe inviting some candle magic into your life, or just working with candles more frequently. Maybe even somebody could be pursuing like wanting to make their own candles and experiment with that as well. I'm also seeing like alchemizing situations, which is also significant to the shift in the perspective, where you're no longer looking through those situations and experiences in the ways that you once did, and you're now alchemizing that into a new perspective that better serves you and your path moving forward. Okay, but let's go ahead and see what your tarot cards are. Look at that, candle magic again. We have the Nine of Wands. It would take a hell of a lot more to defeat you. Nine of Wands there. All right, we also have Nine the Hermit, 2 nines. Yes, you're bringing closure to something, releasing something. There are some things that must be done on your own. And her jacket there says Solitary Witch. And then we have King of Wands. Shine your inner candlelight bright enough for others to follow. And there's another candle there. And then we have Six of Pentacles. Every blessing you give will eventually be returned to you. All right, so Virgo, I'm seeing here that there's a choice that needs to be made, especially with the Six of Pentacles here and the Nine of Wands. And the Hermit. Okay, she's got the pendulum there. She's weighing her options. And then the King of Wands, she's standing behind the door. She's looking out, seeing what's available to her. What new path is she or he ready to move forward with in this point in their life? And so you're really at a pivotal point where you're making some big changes in your life right now, Virgo. The Hermit also represents you. This is the sign of Virgo, the Hermit. So you got your own card in the tarot here. Very significant reading here, Virgo. This is a really beautiful energy here. And so what I'm seeing, it's just that you have come to a point where you are finally able to close the door on situations, paths, connections, relationships that once brought you a lot of pain and suffering. Like they put you in a point where you had to bring healing to yourself and to these external situations in your life and like how you viewed them and how you operated with them. And you may have had to go on a journey where you were kind of hermiting, spending a lot of time with yourself. You could only find reliance within yourself. And I feel like you have done a lot of prayer work or manifestation work, maybe working with candle magic, or just praying to, your higher belief system, God, Goddess, your spirit guides, your angels, working with your ancestors to bring a sense of understanding and relief to the pain that you felt around these situations and experiences that you had to go through, because it caused a lot of inner turmoil and inner struggle, which then reflected out, of course, into your physical environment as well, where you didn't feel a sense of safety, complete safety and trust in those physical spaces and connections to be able to move forward and to walk upon a new path with this sense of healing, with this sense of reverence. And now you're at a point where you're finally able to close the door on those situations and your beliefs about those situations and bring healing to it once and for all, so that you can move forward and live your life in the ways that you're hoping to, in the ways that you're seeking to. And so, Virgo, I'm seeing that there is a new path that is opening up for you, perfectly in alignment with this new moon solar eclipse happening in the sign of Virgo. And you're going to find new blessings, new paths, new possibilities, new connections that you would never have been able to connect with in the past from the like perspective and lenses that you were allowing yourself to operate from. But now you're in a completely new mindset, completely new state of being, and Spirit's like kind of saying it's time, and you're saying it's time. You're ready for this shift in energy. You're ready to try something new. You're ready to connect with new people, new spaces, and new places. And it's all because of the deeper inner work that you've done with yourself, and you're really ready to move forward in these ways. And so that's a really beautiful, Virgo. Thank you so much for letting me share those messages with you. Another message that is coming through too is it's kind of disconnected a little bit from the overall message that we've been sharing here, Virgo. But with the Six of Pentacles here, I feel that for somebody, they are seeking ways to give back. And so like to give back in some way. So maybe like working for nonprofits, working for charities, I'm just seeing like working with nonprofits, working with charities. And Spirit's actually circling it back a little bit to the overall message here, where this could actually be connected to what it is that you had to bring healing to. So maybe you went through a situation where there's like a nonprofit that serves people who go through the types of situations and experiences that you went through. And now that you've brought this deeper sense of healing to yourself, you're ready to maybe volunteer or to work for these companies or these nonprofits, organizations that serve people that went through what you went through, so that you can show them the path to healing and to show them that it's possible to heal from these things and to still continue and move forward in their individual lives or their collective lives. And so it's a very powerful journey that you have gone on, Virgo. You've gone through all these experiences so that you can share your light, share your truth of what you went through in these experiences, but to also come out on the other side of it with peace, with reverence, with trust in yourself, with feeling safe and secure within yourself once again, and to find that trust in yourself once again. And you're going to be able to show others who've gone through those similar experiences that they can also do that as well. And so I'm also seeing too that I'm kind of seeing like the karmic symbol, that 8 symbol, the infinity symbol, what goes around comes around. And so I feel like 2 messages coming through with that. One, you're understanding that what goes around comes around. Okay, if situations from the past involved like individuals that created these negative experiences for you, you know that karma will tend to them, and you're no longer attaching to pain such as like vengeance or revenge and things like that. But the other message that was coming through with the what goes around comes around is that now that you're in this space of finally having relieved yourself from the pain of your attachments to those experiences and situations, you're now able to walk upon this new path with a new sense of being, new perspectives, and a readiness to give back to others in some way. Even if it's not connected to what you went through, you're just ready to give back to yourself, give back to your community, give back to like the company you work for, give back to your relationships, your loved ones. And by allowing yourself to give in that way, the universe, God, Goddess, they're going to give back to you in return all that you deserve, all that you desire, all that you want to receive, all that you've been calling forth while you're working through this deep healing process. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull your oracle cards. So we are going to pull 2 cards from this deck here. This is the Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle. Okay, this one's stuck on the table. And so Virgo, you may be seeing a lot of 9s around this new moon solar eclipse. 999, because you're going through an ending right now. You're transforming, transmuting this energy into a beautiful new beginning. And the choice is yours too. We want to remember that you have this choice to let it all go and to open up into this new path, this new way of seeing things. So we have Mermaid number 24. Let the allure of the mythical siren seduce your curiosity. Magic awaits, yes. Magic awaits. Let the unknown pull you in. Allow yourself to enter into those spaces that exist outside your comfort zone, outside your hermit mode. Invite yourself into those spaces. And look at that, we have sunset dinner 39 and invitations. I just said invite yourself into those spaces. An invitation awaits you. Yell to the stars that you are ready to go. And so the invitation is already there. It's already available to you. With this King of Wands energy, I almost feel like it's kind of symbolizing what I'm feeling with this sunset dinner here. I feel that, you know, she's kind of like opening the door to the outside. She has her candle. She's on the phone with somebody. And she's like, you know, I heard something out there. I thought I heard somebody knocking at the door. But you know, when she opens the door, nobody's really there. And so it's like she has to move past the threshold of the door and go seek out what that invitation actually was. And I know when I say that, it can give like this kind of creepy, ominous sense, but the King of Wands is a very positive card of moving forward, taking initiative. And so, you know, it's like the invitation's already there. She already knows it's available to her. She just has to move forth. You know, she has to open the door and move outwards and go find what that invitation is. And so the invitation's already available to you, just as it says here, an invitation awaits you. Okay, the table's ready, it's full, it's made. It's just waiting for you to pull up your seat and sit at the table and invite yourself into the spaces that are calling you, because they're already there, they already exist. They're just waiting for you, okay? And so you have to make that decision. 9 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, you have the choice, but you have to make the decision to actually move closer, move into those physical spaces. And so these 2 cards are very much about allowing yourself to trust in your intuition and to trust where you're being called to. And so this new moon is really asking you to get out of this hermit mode, get out of this mode, this energy of constantly being with yourself, and move into spaces that are inviting you, calling you, guiding your intuition's guiding you towards. What's piquing your interest, Virgo? What's piquing your interest, and can you give it time? Can you give it attention? Can you pursue that curiosity with a sense of openness, with a sense of trust in yourself? And, you know, if you pursue something or you invite yourself into new spaces and you decide that it's not something that you really enjoyed connecting with or being involved with, then you can choose not to connect with that energy and those experiences and those connections again. And you can go and pursue an invitation in a new space. You can go somewhere else and see what else piques your interest. But you have done so much inner healing work here, Virgo, that you have options. You have new paths that are opening up to you. And you, again, you have this sense of safety that you've built up within yourself, that you are going to really know when a space is meant for you versus when it's not for you, because you're operating from a completely different sense of being than you were a month ago, a couple weeks ago. And so you will know how to navigate this new path that is open for you now. Okay, love, let's go ahead and pull your last card now. So with the new moon happening, and this is our new moon reading, I felt really guided to use a deck that I don't normally use. This is the Druid Plant Oracle, because on new moons, it's a very beautiful, powerful time to plant seeds of intention. And since this is a plant deck, we're going to see what seeds you should be planting. Okay, love, and I might read a little bit from the book for these. We'll just see what I feel called to. So we'll see what is Virgo's plant ally. What seeds does Virgo need to plant? Okay, so I'm actually feeling called to pick these cards in a different way. We're going to take the bottom card. Alright, so let's see what is Virgo's seed. What plant seed? We have flax seed. Wow, look at that with the spindle here. Flax seed. So flax seed. Okay, so I definitely feel like with the flax seed, this is a very popular cooking seed. And so I do feel that there is something cooking for you. Like you're still kind of cooking a little bit here, Virgo. So I know all the messages that we shared about today is about you moving out of this space of solitary, out of this space of healing, but you may still be bringing healing to what it is that you're releasing, what it is that you're letting go of, and aligning to this new path. Like you're still in that transitional phase. You're still kind of cooking and still learning how you're going to operate in these new spaces that are calling towards you, and still also pursuing like the sort of like the ingredients that you want to mix with, okay, or don't want to mix with. Like you're still making those decisions. And so that's what's coming through with the flax card for you, is to just take your time. You know, maybe you're slow cooking in the crock pot, cooking on the stove for a couple hours, or cooking in the oven for a while. And so it's okay to go slow with this process. You've gone through a lot to get to this point now. It's okay to take your time when you're moving forward and pursuing these new spaces, these new places, and these new connections. It's not something that you have to rush into. But let's go ahead and see, let's see a little bit from the book and see what the themes are of flax. Here we go. So this says here, we have ease, connection, and clothing. So flax is grown all over the world today. Let's just read the meaning of it here. Flax has clothed us and helped us communicate with each other across the high seas for thousands of years. It is the plant of the goddess Arinrod, who spins and weaves the web of love and connection around and between us all. If you've chosen this card, it may be pointing to the importance of connection and communication in your life at the moment. Says synchronicity starts to abound as we become conscious of the web that we can deliberately use to send positive influences and messages out into the world. This is the art of magic and expresses the law of the returning tide, or karma as it's commonly known, in which the positive energy we give out is reflected back onto us. An element of ease starts to enter our life and our relationships as we feel more and more in tune with the flow of life, sensing that we do have a place in the web that sustains us all. Yes, so that is exactly what I was speaking to around seeing that infinity symbol, seeing that number 8, is that there is like the laws of karma at play here, and this sort of surrendering, where before you were operating from holding on to a lot of tension, holding on to a lot of painful energy from past experiences and connections that may have been implicated onto you. It's not something that you necessarily caused to yourself, aside from the choices you made around putting yourself in those positions or connecting with those people, but because of the deep inner healing work that you've done in recognizing that, you're now able to let go of those situations and let karma kind of take the wheel, let it do its thing. And now you know that, you're operating from a space where you're just going to be making the decisions and choices that are best for you in the present moment. And like I said, if it doesn't work out, then you can choose something else. It's not on you to take on the energy or the faults of others as to, why those situations didn't work out. If it's that's the cause of those connections or those experiences. But for some of them, they may just be something that you're just not interested in, and you choose to not connect with them or continue learning about those interests. Okay, so just know that it's all about choices and just laying off the wheel of karma a little bit and allowing karma to do its thing and just doing what you want to do because it brings you joy, because you feel called towards it, you feel intuitively guided, and because it's just something that brings you joy, brings you a sense of peace, brings you a sense of deeper purpose and meaning in your life. Okay, love. So I feel like that is it for your reading today, Virgo. So thank you so much for tuning in and allowing me to share these messages of guidance with you. They were very beautiful messages that came through for you today, Virgo. And so I am wishing you a beautiful, blessed new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. And if you like this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what resonated in the comments down below. I love to hear from you all and how these messages resonated with you. And again, I don't usually share this, but I keep feeling called to with you, Virgo. So if you're tuning in and you feel really called to check out your moon and rising sign, your sun, moon, and rising, I'm feeling called to share that with you. You may want to check that out as well, because it can just give you a full overview of what this new moon is really initiating into your life and inviting into your life, and just give you some deeper insight on what's going on behind the scenes here. All right, love, so that is it for your reading once again. I thank you so much. Until next time. Bye, love.